Hey, what's up my friends? My name is Bill. Welcome to Cars at Last. On today's video, how to find inner peace with car ownership. I've been driving and owning cars for over 30 years, and I found 9 key steps that provide me with happiness with car ownership. Now bear with me, I'm here on a summer day in Minnesota. The sun's going down and the gnats are terrible. I have a very analytical mind, so I'm always trying to analyze how much does it cost to keep this car running versus buying a vehicle. There are 9 things that I've discovered along the way that have led me to being satisfied, being at peace with owning a car. I want to share them with you on this video. So my first step is to buy a reliable vehicle. How to find a reliable vehicle? My number one resource for that, my favorite resource of all time, I've been reviewing it for 20 years, is the Consumer Reports Annual Auto Issue. Consumer Reports does a great job of gathering data from actual drivers, which are providing some very detailed reports of their success rating and reliability of vehicles. The first Consumer Reports issue I saw was in 1997, and I've been using it ever since. In addition, you can watch my videos where I analyze how long cars do last. And by doing that, that makes me feel better knowing if I have a car with 150,000 miles and I know that the car has lasted for 300,000 miles for somebody else, it's probably a worthy vehicle to continue driving. The vehicles in my garage, I just swallowed the gnat. Now the vehicles in my garage, like the '03 Suburban behind me, I know they can hit 300,000 miles, and that just gives me more confidence. Number 2, I find great satisfaction in driving an older vehicle. Actually, one of the favorite memories that my 16-year-old son has is the time that we got to spend together looking for a new car while we were driving the 2000 Honda Accord. Absolutely love that vehicle. It was only worth about $1,000. Whenever I'm in need of a replacement car, I look for cars that are typically 2, 3, or 4 years old, or maybe older. Now, the one exception to this rule is safety features. Downside to driving an '03 Suburban, there's no side airbags. There's no advanced safety features, warnings, things like that you're going to get with a newer vehicle. So if safety is important to you, you do want to consider driving a newer vehicle. Number 3, I stopped caring about keeping up with Bob Jones. Do you know Bob Jones? Maybe Bob Jones is your next door neighbor. Bob just showed up in a brand new Chevy Silverado. Man, that thing looks cool. How does Bob afford it? I just saw a statistic that said the average car price is $31,000 and the average household income in the US is also $31,000 a year. That doesn't seem like it's a very good idea, but there are a lot of people driving vehicles that they probably shouldn't be buying. Number 4, I find great satisfaction in not having a car loan. For me, I choose an older car that I know to be reliable, where I don't have to have a car loan, or maybe I have a smaller car loan. And if you have some extra money, take that money and invest it, put it away, save it in a savings account, or consider talking to somebody where you can learn to invest that money. I find that if I have a car loan, every time I look at that car loan on my bank statement, it just makes me shrug. There is great satisfaction in having your car paid off. Number 5, buy vehicles that are known to have a high satisfaction rating. Did you know that in the Consumer Reports magazine, they also rate vehicles based on owner satisfaction? As a general rule of thumb, you're going to find that those satisfaction ratings are going to be in line with how you feel about the car. The more satisfied you are with the vehicle, the longer you're going to keep it, especially if it's going to be a reliable vehicle. Number 6, I find great joy in keeping my car very simple. The '03 Suburban back there has some simple controls, and it has a push button radio on it, but it's very simple. It's easy to use. I don't get lost in crazy iPad looking things on my dashboard, which can cause me a distraction when I'm driving. If you want that kind of thing, I can always add a radio to this Suburban. Maybe I'll do that in the future. It would be nice to have a little bit newer technology, maybe like Bluetooth, but for now I'm okay with it. Number 7, forget the status symbol. I found great joy in letting go of worrying about what kind of car I drove and what party I showed up to with what particular vehicle. I've showed up to quite a few parties where even when I had a car that I thought was a status symbol, there was always somebody that had a better car than I did. And good for them. If they're in a financial situation where they can afford that, that's great. Once I let go of that, I just found so much more joy and peace not worrying about what kind of vehicle I was driving. Number 8, don't be an asshole. What I mean by that, one of my recent purchases was a 2015 Infiniti Q40. Maybe you saw that in one of my videos. It was an amazing car, but every time I got in the car, my ego went up and I couldn't wait to cruise around, and I was looking for, traffic. I was actually looking for traffic so that I could hit the downshift and hit the gas, get the RPMs up, and just take off. It was a lot of fun to drive, but I couldn't control my ego in this car. And I found that once I sold that car, I had so much more peace driving. Now, number 9 is driving a slower car. Now, I'm not saying drive an old Yugo, but there's a lot more peace when I don't have 300 or 400 horsepower at my foot. Now, I know that's going to go against what every single car video and car magazine is going to say. We're constantly bombarded that we need more horsepower. I'm all for horsepower. I love horsepower, but I found that I got in trouble with it. The 2015 Infiniti Q40 that I had 326 horsepower. A month before I sold it, I got pulled over twice for speeding. My 16-year-old son was like, "Dad, why don't you just slow down?" I just found it very hard to keep that under control. Now I drive the 03 Burb. Yeah, it's much easier to stay under or at the speed limit and keep my driving reasonable. So there you have it. Those are my 9 steps for peaceful car ownership. I hope you find peace with the car you're driving. Maybe you're driving a car that breaks down all the time, or maybe you're one of those guys or gals that you think you need to modify the car and make it faster and faster and faster. I'm not saying not to have fun. I certainly have done car projects that have been very fun, but overall, driving a comfortable, reliable vehicle that's going to last a long time, I just found a greater sense of peace in doing so. So that's it for this video. I'd love to hear your comments. Consider hitting the subscribe button below if you're interested in more videos. Got more videos coming your way. What brings you peace with the car you drive? Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.